On Sunday, we thought about the message of that great country song, Jesus Take the Wheel, a story about a single mom driving home on Christmas Eve. In the words of the song, 50 miles to go and she was running low on faith and gasoline. It had been a long, hard year. Not paying close enough attention, she hit a patch of black ice and goes into a spin, completely out of control. The words continue. She threw up her hands in the air. Jesus, take the wheel. The chorus cries out to the Lord, save me from this road I'm on. In the second verse, she looks back in the back seat and she sees her baby safe and sound. It's a miracle. And she realizes that her life without Jesus is in a spin, completely out of control. Jesus, take the wheel. Save me from this road I'm on. In the context of that thought, we looked to the New Testament and found a guy in Jesus' time whose life was big time out of control. The Gospel of Luke, chapter 8, tells the story of a man possessed by about a gazillion demons that made him do crazy things, like go around with no clothes on, sleep in a graveyard. But Jesus came along and delivered him completely. Toward the end of that story, we find the result when some of the townspeople come out to check and see what's going on. Verse 35, we read, they went out to see what had happened and came to Jesus and found the man from whom the demons had departed, sitting at the feet of Jesus, clothed and in his right mind. And they were afraid. They were afraid. That last phrase. Now, the scriptures aren't clear about why they were afraid, but I want us to think about that for a few minutes tonight. Why would someone be afraid to let Jesus take control of their life? What could they possibly fear? Well, here are a few possibilities that we might want to consider. First, a miracle, by definition, is beyond our capacity to comprehend or ability to explain. We like to be able to understand things, don't we? And when we can't, we often choose to avoid them. So it was easier for the people in Jesus' time to ask him to leave, rather than have to face something they couldn't explain. Sadly, many, not all, but many in the science community today respond to Jesus in the same way. If we can't explain it, then we ignore it. Another possibility relates to the man who is possessed by the demons himself. Let's face it, he was different, very different. The people had figured out how to deal with him, mostly by avoiding him. He's not like us. Stay away from him. But then Jesus makes him normal. They might have preferred the stay away from him approach. I wonder, is that how we deal with people who are different from us today? Ignore them? Avoid them? Keep them in their place? When Jesus is at work in lives, we might be called to establish relationships with people that we're not comfortable with. It is possible. Well, another possibility, what about this? Many, many people simply want to stay in control of their own lives. It's my life. We want to figure out things for ourselves. We want to live life according to our plans, not his. We're afraid to trust him. What if he called me to do something or go somewhere that's out of my comfort zone? Do you see that this attitude establishes a position of rebellion on our part? Who's in charge, God or me? If I insist on my will, I may well be rejecting His will. And that is dangerous territory. Jesus Himself set the standard for us the night He was betrayed, and He knew He was about to be betrayed and tried and convicted and crucified. On that night, He prayed to the Father, saying, if there's any other way than this, but since there's not, your will, not mine. And Jesus gave up everything. Whatever would cause us to fear surrendering our will to His will, whether it's our inability to explain it, our reluctance to move out of our comfort zone, or worst of all, our insistence on going my own way, not His, whatever it is, it will keep us from experiencing the very best He has for us. Going back to Sunday's country song, the analogy, when Jesus takes the wheel, we are in for the best ride of our lives. God bless you, friends.